Hi everyone, I'm Eva from amomandhercar.blogspot.com and on Instagram at amomandhercar, and this is my fifth Flosstube. Thanks for joining me today. It's been a strange week in Texas. As you all probably know, we had several snowstorms go through the area and really cold temps across the entire state, which is what caused a majority of the problems. We do occasionally get snow. I even have pictures of my 11-year-old when he was 1 when we got feet and feet of snow, but it was just our area. And so when it spread out all over Texas, we have all kinds of problems. My family has been incredibly lucky through all of this. We lost power for a very short time last Sunday night in the middle of the night. And the only reason we even knew we lost power was because we woke up the next morning and the clocks were flashing. So that's the only time we lost power. Lots of my friends and coworkers were out of power the entire time. A few, went to stay in hotels or with friends and family. So we were very lucky in that respect. We tried to keep our power low and just bundled up just to try to pull as little as possible from the grid. We had a few water problems, but nothing like what I'm seeing, again, from some of my neighbors and friends, which is, we ran out of hot water, or we didn't have hot water. We didn't run out. I think it was frozen in the pipes. So we didn't have hot water for a few days, which was super easy to work around, obviously. And then my city was under a boil order or a boil advisory. So we had to boil our water. But again, that's super easy to work around. We just happened to we did a Costco run last week. In my last video, I showed you the Light I got, and thank goodness we went because we had plenty of bottled water and plenty of water for the pets. So it was really washing hands. We had to figure out how to set up a hand washing station and using hand sanitizer and things like that. So far, knock on wood, we have not had any pipe damage, but you can believe we're keeping a close eye on that. Our pipes aren't necessarily built for hard freezes, so we've just been watching them pretty obsessively. So all in all, very lucky. We know it's pure luck. We're very grateful, and we're trying to help out our friends and neighbors and family wherever we can. We did have a little fun before it got serious and stressful. My sons went sledding. We've never been sledding in Texas before. So that was fun to go to some of our neighborhood hills and, build a little snowman and do some sledding and, just play in the snow. Honestly, my kids, we were out maybe an hour total through all of this. My younger son went out a little more in the backyard, but we won't be moving to, Colorado or some of the northern states where there's a lot of snow anytime soon. I don't think so. Anyhow, just fortunate and grateful that we did look out like we did. So now we'll go to stitching. I will mention one other thing. Amidst all this, bookshelves behind me that I ordered quite a while ago were delivered on Saturday, which was shocking because I haven't had mail in a week. But they called and said, hey, we have your shelves. Would you like us to deliver them? And so I wasn't going to complain about that. So there's still, as you see in transition, I'm organizing all my books by topic, finding my little knickknacks. I'll talk about these boxes from Amazon a little later. I've ordered more of those. So all my stitchy stuff will be stored in there. So if you notice that my background is different, we moved the 3 brown bookshelves upstairs, and then the white bookshelves now match my furniture in the office. And so I'm excited about that, but it will be a little distracting until I get it done, which will take a couple of weeks because I'm really trying to clean everything up. So today in the video, I have for you one fully finished object, which is rare for me. I'm really good at starting. I'm pretty good at finishing. I'm horrible at fully finishing. So I have one fully finished object to show you, which will be hung in my office. Here, I have some whips to show you. Despite all the craziness, because we were so lucky, I did have time to stitch this week, so I'll share my whips. I did a new start today, so I'll show you that. I had a little bit of haul. Most of my haul is stuck at the post office right now, which is totally okay. I can be patient. I have plenty to work on. But I have a little bit of haul and some things that are on my wish list and I'm keeping my eye on. I'll talk about my plans for next week. And then of course we have the giveaway from last week and a giveaway this week. So I'll just jump in here. So the first thing I have to show you, it's kind of large, so I'm going to try to carefully grab it here. This is my Sew by Row. So here is the chart. I've been talking about this in my last few videos. Sew by Row is a chart by Lori Holt. I was doing a stitch along with Fat Quarter Shop, who sells this pattern. Happy Little Stitch Shop still has an ongoing stitch along with this. If you're interested in joining, I have loved this pattern. It is very relaxing. The pattern is very well done. I just can't say enough about it, and that's why it was the giveaway last week. And so I managed to fully finish it. So I framed this using Lori Holt's tutorial where she does lacing. I got the frame from Michael's on clearance. I mean, I think this was like 15 bucks for this huge frame. I'll put the item number and a link to it in the description box, and it's on clearance online, I noticed. You might have remembered that I really messed up and only left about a 1/2 inch of extra fabric on the side. Which is a huge mistake. I've sort of over time, I went from having 3-inch borders to getting shorter and shorter, and I got kind of lazy about it, probably because I don't finish enough to remind myself why you need a 3-inch border. So mistake learned. I won't be doing that anymore. And so I needed this mat because this really only has a little bit of fabric here. And then on the other side, the fabric goes all the way to the edge, right? So it would have been really hard to frame this without the mat, at least I thought. And so I did it this way. I did do a video on this. I don't know if I'll post it or not because it was less, it was just kind of like a beginner trying out Lori Holt's tutorial, and it turned into more of an engineering video than a cross-stitch framing video. And I say that because my husband had to come and help me, and he had to devise like strategies to keep it straight and level. But at the end of the day, I'm very happy with how it turned out. I like this frame. This definitely matches here in my office, so I'm going to be hanging it on the wall. And I highly recommend Lori Holt's tutorial. I had that on the whole time, and I was watching and rewatching. And I've done some framing of my own before, but it never looks good. It just, it's there and it's fine. And this, to me, it looks really good in person, and $15 finish. Plus the framing supplies, which I will use those again and again. I really want to focus on, I pretty much want my pieces to be framed, with a few exceptions, but most of mine, I want them framed. And so I'm going to have lots of chances to practice that tutorial. So I'm excited about that. So let's talk about our giveaway. So because I love this chart so much, I bought a second one. This is our giveaway. Let's see, the winner is, I'm just cheating here a little bit, Debbie White. So thank you so much, Debbie. It gives me so much joy to be able to give these charts that I love so much away. So Debbie, my email address is in the description box below. Just send me an email with where you want this mailed to, and I'll get it into the mail. I will also mention, Sarah was our winner last week. So Sarah, if you're watching, your chart is probably sitting in the post office in Texas somewhere. I haven't gotten mail. I got mail for the first time yesterday, so I'm assuming no mail's circulating in my area. I'm in the DFW area of Texas. So just be a little patient, but I'm sure it'll be on its way quickly. We are up to 60 degrees today. It is a little cloudy and overcast, but 60 degrees is plenty warm enough to be melting us out of what we're in. Now we just have to deal with all the busted pipes and things like that. But all that to say, your chart should be coming to you very soon. So Debbie, I'll get this out as soon as I hear from you, and it shouldn't be held up too long. All right, so now moving on to my whips. One comment about my whips. I currently have 7 whips. I've been pretty good at start and finishing, especially like my Spooky Hollow, which I'll show you in just a minute. I'm doing the Country Cottage Needlework Sampler of the Month. I'm pretty good at, getting the chart in the mail with my stitch along each month and finishing it, and then some of the others I'm keeping up with. So maybe I've been watching Brenda and the Serial Starter too much lately, but I have decided that I want to build up my whip stash. I hear a lot of people talking about sort of getting through their whip stash and not starting anything new, but this is my hobby. I've stuck with it. I'm trying not to spend too much money on it because I wanted to make sure I was going to stick with it. I have stuck with it. I love it. It has all kinds of benefits, as you all know. And so this year when I did my budget, I budgeted a little extra to kind of build up my whip stash. So I'm going to be starting, kind of a new one every week, every other week for the next, I don't know, several weeks until I feel like I have enough. Nothing crazy. I'm not trying to get to 100 whips or anything like that, but I have 7 now, and sometimes I'm like, I'm not sure if I'm feeling any of these. So I'm just going to be building that up a little, is the point I'm trying to make. But this week, I was able to work on 4 of my whips, and so I'll show you that progress now. So first is my Spooky Hollow. I know not everyone is a Halloween stitcher. It's totally okay. I just love Halloween. I just love it. I love everything about it. My neighborhood, friends and family get together. We do a big thing. I mean, when we can. It's just fun. And I have kids, so maybe that makes it more fun. I don't know. And my birthday is in October, so there's all kinds of reasons that I love Halloween. I find myself stitching it quite a bit. So I'm doing the Spooky Hollow by the Little Stitch Girl. This is a series, a 12-part series, I'm pretty sure. Happy Little Stitch Shop is doing a stitch along. And so Angela from Happy Little Stitch Shop sends me a pattern every month, and then I stitch it up. This month was the library, which is perfect for me. I'm a big reader. I know it doesn't look like it because there's bare shelves behind me, but that's only because I'm organizing my books. And I read a lot of ebooks and audiobooks, but this was super cute. I made really good progress. So I try to do one of these a month. They are bigger stitches every month. I forget that they actually do take me quite a while. I am using 18 count Ada Hazy Gray from Fabric Flair. Angela helped me find this really big piece. So this will be big over time. So this is, just half the fabric. This will be quite large, and my plan is to frame it, and then at Halloween time, I'll hang it over the fireplace, or just sort of set it up on the fireplace mantle, and it'll be a great Halloween decoration. So I've, every month, I think I started in September, I've done these scenes, and this month was the library. And I was trucking along on this sweet library, and then I ran out of colonial copper, which I was surprised about because I thought I planned this one pretty good, but who knows? I may have pulled that colonial copper for something else. So I immediately got online, ordered some colonial copper. I did order it from Fat Quarter Shop, so my guess is I don't get it for a while, but when it comes in, I'll just stop what I'm doing. I'll finish up that library real quick. This little cat has yellow eyes. And then I don't know why I didn't do this, but I didn't do the door handles on the door, and I think that's all that I have left. I'll make a couple comments about this one. So the models were stitched with Classic Colorworks, but there is a DMC conversion. I started this project with the DMC. So I just thought, I have a pretty decent DMC stash. I'll use this. I ordered a few extra, maybe it was part of the stitch along. And then I started this very first one, the cobblestone path with DMC. And then very quickly I was like, wait, I want the pretty variegation, especially on like the dance hall, and the library has really pretty variegation. I wanted that in my piece. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get this where you can see it very well. So I wanted to see that variegation, and so then I switched over to Classic Colorworks. So I still do the cobblestone path in DMC, and then I switch over to Classic Colorworks for everything else. So I'll tell you one mistake I made, and I was pretty far into it. So I decided to skip and just fudge it. I do that a lot. So if you look really carefully at the books, they are sitting on a brown bookshelf. I just flaked on that, and I was already pretty well into my books, which are hard to stitch because it's like a little bit like confetti stitching, not exactly, but they're sort of sprinkled throughout. So I said, no one will ever know, except then I pointed out on my floss tube, but basically, I don't care. And then on these pieces, the thing that I dread the most is the cobblestone path. The green is fine, but this is 3 different grays, and they're, again, a little bit like confetti stitching. So I don't know. It's just, I get through it every month. I love how it looks though, so I'm never gonna leave it out. And I love she's done such a great job. I don't design patterns, so I don't know how you do this, but it meets up every single time. Like, I don't have to figure that out. It just meets up and it's perfect and seamless. And so these are really, I think, well-designed charts. So that is an update on my Spooky Hollow. This will go away. I mean, technically it would go away till next month. I think there's like a sweet shop or something next month, but I probably will pull it out when I get that colonial copper and just make sure that I finish that library up. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what kind of mood I'm in when the colonial copper gets here. Okay. The next one that I started, which I've talked a lot about on Instagram, is Sweetheart Hill. I'm at about 20% for this chart. Oh, I thought I lost it, but I'd set it out because I'm trying to prevent wrinkles as much as possible. So Sweetheart Hill is my first attempt at 40 count. This is a Plum Street sampler. I ordered this from, I think I ordered the chart from Fire Poppies, and but I ordered the, no, I got the linen at my local needlework shop, the Stitch Niche in Arlington, and I got most of the thread there. I had to pull a few thread from my stash. So here is my progress. This is 40 count platinum. I think this is why I got platinum. I didn't write it down, and I'm not experienced enough with 40 count. As I said, I'm brand new to 40 count. So the fabric is 40 count platinum, and I'm using the called for Classic Colorworks and Weeks Dye Works. I didn't change anything. Okay, so when I showed this last week and I had just started, I start at the bottom right. So I had gotten a few of the words done. So then I finished the words and I moved on to this hill, and I think I got quite a bit done. And a few things about this. So if you're someone like me who wants to try a 36 or 40 count, I think this is the perfect pattern. And I say that because these words down here, I am going to figure out how to hold this thing. These words down here are basically practice. This is super easy. It's just rows. You can barely see it. This is eggshell, and my fabric's pretty light. The model was stitched on beeswax, which looks a little darker, but I'm loving mine, so I don't mind. And then this is, I can't remember what this is. I'll look in just a second. So it's just rows. These letters are easy. And so I basically got all this practice done on this banner before I went up to the hill. And the hill itself is actually pretty easy as well. It's mostly just rows. And then the flowers, I got my first few stitches on the flowers in, and then I love these greens. So to show you the difference in the greens, I was worried that the little leaves wouldn't show up as well, but they're actually doing just fine now that I've gotten them in. So the hill itself is Weeks Dye Works Oscar. So I have a strand with lots of variegation actually. And then the leaves, the called for Classic Colorworks Nature Trail. My lighting's not great. Maybe if I just put that down, you can see better. Oh, there, you can kind of see. And I'm starting to see that. Lots of variegation in my hill, and the leaves are showing up. And so I'm going to finish the hill. I believe I'm pulling this out this week. I'm trying to cheat and look over here in my notes. I'm pretty sure I'm pulling this out. I'm just going to keep working on this hill. I'll outline the rest of the flowers. When the flowers are outlined, I'll go do them together I decided to just leave them outlined because I think this is hickory sticks on the middle. And so I was just going to do that all at once. So that's fun. Now, I've learned, here's a few things that I've learned from this piece, which many of you experienced stitchers probably already knew, but my thread kept getting tangled, and I was just and I use Classic Colorworks. I don't use Weeks Dye Works a lot, but I use Classic Colorworks in several other projects, and it kept getting tangled. And several of you mentioned I was potentially using too long of a piece of thread, and that was it exactly. I just pulled a piece out, so I better get that one on. So I was using too long a thread. When I cut it, there was a lot less. And then I was watching Jacob from Modern Folk Embroidery, and he had these Sullivan's ball. He talked about these Sullivan's ballpoint needles. There's no way you're ever going to be able to see that. Oh, maybe right there. And I've seen this, I think Chelsea from Real Housewives, Priscilla and Chelsea, I think she's talked about these before. I remembered that I picked some of these up, and I was like, well, let me just try it. And he mentioned when you first start using it, you feel it feels like it's snagging a little. And that is one way that I can see how he said that. For me, it gave me just enough feedback to find the right hole. So I don't know if I'm making that up or not, but this was a game changer to me. When I switched over to this, I suddenly seemed to be able to find the holes of this really, type 40 count better. And so they are a little pricey. I think I got 2 of them for like $7, which again, it's pretty pricey, but I will say I'm very good with my needles. I don't break them. I keep them forever. I usually use Pat Carson's or Bowen, and they just stay around. I don't lose them. I'm pretty careful with them. And now I'm just treating this thing like a piece of gold, $3. I thought Pat Carson, which is about $1 a needle, totally worth it, but I thought that was a little pricey. And then seeing that these are, what is that, $3.50 a needle? I don't know. If you know where to get those less expensively, let me know. But also they're really good. And so, if I just have a small stash of that and build it over time, I'm totally okay with that. So it's a great first piece for 40 count. I'm really enjoying that one. So glad I started that one. And, I'm at about 20% done with it. I'll keep going. I have no major goal on that one, just that I love it. And so I'm just going to keep stitching on it because I love it. The next piece that I worked on, so I worked on that one. I worked on my library Sunday through Wednesday. That was my major focus piece. And then Sweetheart Hill Thursday, Friday. So then yesterday I got to make a little bit of whip progress. So I have been doing this series very slowly. This is one of the first series that I started when I first started stitching in 2019. And I did the Easter one of these. I have lost it, which is fine. But it might be in my Easter decoration. So I'm going to try to dig that out. But this was the next, and I did the Halloween one. So I think I know where that one is. I need to get it out and finish it. And then I started this one, and then I have Mary Chock full kitted up. So these are fun. I am doing this on 14 count chalkboard by Wichelt. I think this was a kit that I ordered from Fat Quarter Shop. Last week, and I'm using the Call for Classic Colorworks. Last week I'd already had this jar stitched up like a long time ago, and then I put this one away and hadn't touched it in a while. When I was a beginner, this white was actually kind of hard, so I could see how that would have been taxing, and I probably just put it away for easier pieces. But now, with a little experience under my belt, this one is super fun, and I can see the patterns. So last week I had all the white done, and I had a few of the yellow, this Queen Bee, which I think, I'm not a big yellow person in general, but it's very fun to stitch with. I think especially since it's been so gloomy lately, this bright variegated yellow was really nice to work with. So anyhow, I had some of the yellow flowers, and my goal was to finish at least the flowers out, and I did that. So not only did I do the Queen Bee yellow of all the flowers, but in the middle is a brown trail dust, Classic Colorworks trail dust. Some of them, the pattern calls for some of them to be completely filled in, so it's just some, X's there, some stitches, and some have Smyrna stitches, which are really easy stitches. The hardest part for me was just following the pattern. I got kind of carried away, and some of them have more than the pattern called for, but it looked fine to me, so I left it. And then I was having so much fun that I just kept going with the green. I think this is bean sprout. I think that's right. In the leaves. So I probably, because I'm so close on this one, I just have a few leaves left, I think here and here, maybe there, and then the jar. And so I will pull this out again and put a thread in it. I'll probably keep this in my rotation for a while till it's finished because it is so close. And then maybe I'll finish the Halloween, the Boo one and this one together and get started on the Merry Chock Full. So that's kind of my thinking with this one. The other one that I promised myself I would pull out, I have very little progress on this one, is Mistletoe Lane. I have about 20% progress. I didn't make much more than that, but this one gave me fits last week, and so I told myself that I would pull it out, and so I did. So this is a chart from Fat Quarter Shop. I think this was during their, Kimberly, her last name is Jolly, so she does Jolly July and Stitches Christmas. And this was a mystery pattern that they revealed one piece at a time. I knew I would never be able to keep up with it. I can't remember what I was working on, but I wasn't going to be able to keep up with it, which was fine. I just thought it was a cute pattern. And so I ordered this and kitted it up. So I think that's all I want to say about that. But I pulled it out as a whip last week, and the green banner was giving me fits. So I don't know. I just kind of made myself pull it out again because it's not the pattern's fault. It was mine, and I didn't want to be mad at this pattern. I don't know. Do you all do these weird psychological games with your patterns? I hope so. Please just say you do. Make me feel better in the comments. Okay, so I'm just using the Call for DMC, not too many. This was kitted up by Fat Quarter Shop. All right, this is 25 count Lugana. Sorry. 25 count Lugana. I had already gotten through, last week when I showed you, I had already gone through this red banner with the little pink arrows. Then I also had a teeny tiny little start on this green banner here, and I had messed up. And I figured out my mess up. I fudged a little and picked it a little, and it was fine. And so I got, I think, 2 strands of floss. I mean, that was my thing. I wanted to get at least 1 strand in this thing, and it was going fine. And so I think I just kept going a little. Maybe I did a strand and a half, something like that. So that banner will just keep going. This one is, I will not pull this one out again this week. It'll, in a couple of rotations, I'll pull it back out and just same thing, a thread or 2, and maybe it'll be a focus piece during Jolly July. We'll see. So that is my part. But the moral of the story is I'm feeling much better about this once I figured out my mistake, not the patterns. The pattern's perfect. And I, just kind of sat down in a calmer time, then it was totally fine. And still, I'm happy with this piece. It's cute and all those things. So there you go. I did have a new start this Sunday, this morning when I started my tea. I am doing the Country Cottage Needlework Sampler of the Month. I'm doing the Stitch Along with Fat Quarter Shop. I'm pretty sure they're sold out of at least the Sal. I don't know, but I'm sure they have some supplies you could order separately. This will be my focus piece this week. These usually take me, several days of pretty solid focus, and this one, so cute. The leprechauns and the pot of gold and the rainbows above the house. Lots of details. So this one may take me longer, and that's okay, but I will finish this week because I like to keep up with this stitch along. I am stitching on Wichelt 32 count linen, beautiful beige. So what Fat Quarter Shop did is they sent a big piece of this linen and a cutting guide, and so you knew how to cut it. And so I did that as soon as it came in. I think it was like 6 months worth. And so sometime this summer, I'm assuming they'll send us another big piece and we'll get it cut up. And so it's so nice. So then every month when that chart comes in, I have one project bag I keep it in. I just pull out the fresh new piece of linen that obviously needs to be ironed, and I get started on it, which is nice. So a couple of things about this one. They also sent us the Call for Classic Colorworks. These are so, just having all of the, I don't know, I just want to I don't know, I just love it. My husband says this is what he imagines a unicorn tail looks like. Oh, it's kind of messy, but it's still beautiful, even messy. It's all the colors for all the months. So you don't use one of these every month, but it's for all 12 in the series. I keep all my floss on these rings that I just ordered from Amazon. Then these, this is from Fat Quarter Shop that they designed. I think these are called Floss Biddies, something like that. And these are their Christmas ones. I'm part of their Stitch Quarterly, and they always put a notion in there, and this was one of the notions. Super cute. So even though these are Christmas and it wasn't just Christmas, I realized I'd be finishing this in Christmas, and so I decided to use those Floss Biddies. Let's see, there was something I was going to mention. Oh, I know what it was. So fresh off of my lesson with framing sew by row, which I showed at the beginning of the video, I'm hyper vigilant about my borders now. So what I used to use to start is this cross stitch key, again designed by, or maybe it's designed by It's So Emma, which is part of Fat Quarter Shop. And this is how I would start things, and it's fine. I would use this little thing, 2.5, so it goes to 2.5. So I just put my needle through, and it's super easy. And to be fair, they do have a 3-inch piece, so you can use it that way as well. But I was watching a Flosstuber, and I completely am forgetting her name, so I'll find it and I'll flash it on the screen here. But she was like, you don't need a fancy ruler. Post-it notes are 3 inches. Let me just measure there. Yeah, they're just under 3 inches. And so I just got out a Post-it note, and that's how I started this morning. And that was a handy trick because I always have Post-it notes around. So if I lose my cross stitch key or I can't exactly figure out how to use the 3-inch piece on it, this was super easy. It was a quick start. And so all I've done here, I just barely put a few stitches. This is the banner across the top. So I'm starting at the top right. I usually prefer to start at the bottom right on my pieces, but on these, the top right worked just as well for me. So anyhow, I'm excited to start March, and it has cute little details in it. So that was my Sunday start today. I put myself at about 5% complete because I got a few stitches in. I sort of guess on those, but hopefully by the end of this week, if I stay focused, then that one will be done as well. So in total, that brings me to 7 starts for 2021. I've had 5 finishes. I have 4 kitted up, so over the next 4 weeks, I have a new start. I think that, and 7 whips. Maybe I should add to my little graph how many I fully finished, like if I really want accountability out of this. Anyhow, and the graphs that I use in these videos, they're totally for me. I think some of you think they're cute because your brain probably works like me, and some of them are like, why? I don't understand. This is your hobby, but that's keeping up with this kind of thing relaxes me. It's how my brain works. I'm an evaluator and researcher by trade, so anyhow, so my plans for this week are I will focus on my Country Cottage Needleworks March sampler, and on Sunday through Wednesday. On Thursday and Friday, I'll get to pull out Sweetheart Hill, which I'm excited about because I'm loving that piece. And then on the chalk full that I showed you, the Harvest chalk full, I want to get through the leaves and hopefully start the jar. So I'll do that probably on Saturday. And then I will pull out my Peace and Health sampler. I'm wondering, I have not stitched on this since starting the 40 count on Sweetheart Hill, and I am stitching this on 32 count parchment by Weeks Dye Work. And so I wonder if it'll be easier for me. Is that strange? Because like even today on the Wichelt, which is an even weave, it even sort of like started off faster. I wasn't trying to dig for holes, etc. So I'm curious about, because this one, I go very slowly on this one. So I'm hoping when I pull it out that, I don't know, maybe it'll go faster. So what I plan to do is start on some of these motifs on this side. And I won't get much done, but just to kind of keep this one going. And then next week, in my last video, I said I'd be starting Madame Chantilly's spring tier tray as part of the SAL with Evelyn across the pond and Georgia Girl Stitching or Stitcher. I'll put their names up here so you know who they are. So I'm not butchering them. But I was wrong. I tried to erase a week in February, which would not have been a bad thing. A lot of people would have appreciated if I'd have figured out how to do that, but that's okay. So next Sunday, I'll at least have a few stitches in Madame Chantilly's spring tier tray. I think they're doing winter as part of their SAL, but I had had enough winter in my life and the spring one just called to me. And so I'm going to do spring. So there you go. Then haul. So I've ordered a few things, but they're at the post office. So I have all these notifications that they'll be delivered today. I got mail yesterday, nothing was delivered. It's fine. I can certainly be patient. However, Amazon did start their deliveries back up yesterday. So I needed more of these plastic bobbins for my DMC. And interestingly, they had a set. I could have just gotten the bobbins, but they had this set that had one ring. I don't need any more rings, but I mean, it's fine. I always find uses for those. And the little numbers, the DMC numbers, which I've never used. And so some rainy day when I'm bored, I'll go back and renumber these, or when I start new ones, I'll number them because I try to keep like one bobbin per skein for the most part. Anyway, so I don't know, some other way to do some organizing. I also, with my framing, of course I got that frame, and I got a few framing supplies. So first of all, I got crochet thread, which I linked in the description box, but who knows where I put it. And so I had to get some bigger at Michael's, just DMC tapestry needles. This is size 18 to 22 so that I could get the crochet thread too to do the lacing for my framing. And then I got these, I forget what they're called, laser points for the back of my frame to stick that in there. So I got a little bucket of those, and I used, that was recommended by Lori Holt for her video tutorial. And oh, the other thing I want to show you are what sorry that I had to bend over for so long, what I'm getting for my shelf. So I ordered these on Amazon. These are in the description box below, and I have more coming, large sizes and the medium sizes. And these are called fabric file folders. That's all it is. The lid comes off and they're just like little file folder boxes, but they are going to be perfect for my shelves back there. So I'll do some across the top, some on the bottom, and just to store different things like my patterns and my floss and my whips. And then it'll free up some of my desk space for more paperworky type stuff. So anyways, I'm excited to get this room nice and organized. And even though I didn't get a bunch of haul this week, I did, of course I ordered something, and I have my eye on a few things. And so I wanted to share those with you. The first is, I'm not sure if you saw this, but Traditional Stitches, which is located in Canada. I've never ordered from them before, but I've heard lots of people who have. I believe it's their 20th year anniversary, 20th or 25th, I can't remember. I know it's Pokemon's 25th anniversary because my son's very excited about that. But I'm not sure what Traditional Stitches is. And they have teamed up to do a couple of exclusive designs. Their newest one is with Blackbird Designs. It's called What Remains of Love. And I did order that kit from Traditional Stitches. If you're interested in it, I was just on the website getting the link to put into the description box. And basically, there have been 3 batches of orders. I managed to get in the first batch. I looked at my order number. I mean, I barely, by the skin of my teeth, got in the first batch. So that will be shipping in late March. But since, you know, it's from Canada, I'm not anticipating getting that until April and probably not starting until May. But we'll see. The 3rd batch of orders, she said, is shipping in June. So just, you know, be a little patient if you decide to go order it. It is beautiful. All those little birds. Anyhow, it's just so pretty. So that's something I have my eye on. And then I've been seeing a bunch of folks, or I guess started Jessie Watson from Hands Across the Sea for Valentine's Day, appropriately so. It has those pretty hearts and the pinks and reds. And I've been wanting to do a Hands Across the Sea chart for a while. I want to try the threads that Nicola Parkman uses. And I don't know, it just looks, Jessie Watson would be a great one for me, I think, a great way to start. So I noticed 911 Stitcher on her most recent YouTube, I believe, ordered a kit from Hoop and Frame, a store I've never ordered from before. I can't tell where they're from, but I think she mentioned she thought they were in the Texas area. So I'm assuming they are under all this that, you know, we're under. All that to say, they have kits. They have all kinds of kits for different samplers, lots of Hands Across the Sea samplers. So I was looking at this, and the kit that I'm looking at has 45 count. So I might hold off and order that in March because I do have the next 4 Sunday starts sort of planned out. Anyhow, I've got my eye on this one. I'm thinking about ordering it. We'll see. So probably on March 1st, I'll order it since I just said that. And then the other thing that I'm keeping an eye on is the Needlework Expo. So I'm new to all this, but from what I understand, there's usually Needlework Expo, I think, in Tennessee, where designers go and show off their new charts in the spring, February, Marchish, and then stores get to attend and buy all these new charts, and it's wonderful. And it couldn't happen this year because of COVID. And so someone started an online Needlework Expo. So I've been just kind of glancing at the charts, and one that caught my eye is this one, Flosstube Friends by October House Fiber Arts, who I'd never heard of before. So now I have a new designer that I'm sort of loving and checking out all of their stuff. But of course, you know, I started a Flosstube channel. This would be so cute on one of my shelves back there or hanging. I mean, I don't know. I just think it will be really darling. What I particularly like about this is she put a lot of diversity in the people, which you don't always see in a cross-stitch chart. So I appreciated that in particular. You know, I just assumed that the designer was a she, but now I'm not so sure about that. Anyhow, so October House Fiber Arts on Instagram, and then you could follow Needlework Expo on Instagram as well if you want to check out some of the new designs coming out. You know, all of our favorite designers are putting stuff out about this time, and I believe these all come out the first week in March, so something to look forward to. All right, so I think the last thing that I have for you today is this week's giveaway. Let me just make sure. Yes. So this week's giveaway. So I've been thinking about, so I told you one of my goals this year is to build up my whip stash and my stash in general. And I don't really have a huge stash of fabric. I have lots of floss. Well, lots for me. I could always get more. So let me not say that. But I was thinking about subscriptions. I am part of Fat Quarter Shop's Stitch Quarterly, which I love. You get a fun notion and a chart and the fabric and the floss and that sort of thing. But I'm also thinking about linen subscriptions and maybe floss subscriptions and kits. I don't know. I'm just trying to see what's out there. And so my question for you is, what is your favorite subscription that you're either a part of now or were in the past, or are eyeballing yourself? Like, I'm thinking about that subscription. So just tell me about that. So in order to win the giveaway, you subscribe to my channel, like this video, answer the question, and in the comments put the word kit, because what I'm giving away is let me see if I can cover my address here. When I started stitching, so this is good for either an animal lover because of the pattern, which I'll show you, or a new stitcher. I was part of the I forgot what she's called, Geeky Stitching Company. I believe she's in the UK, not in the US, that's all I know. She does this cute subscription kit, and you would open it up, and it was just really prettily wrapped with like confetti, and I would do these all the time. Well, there's one kit somehow I just didn't get to, and because of what I know is on my schedule for the next few months, I know that I won't get to it. So that's how I'm giving this kit away. So she always included one pattern pretty much kitted up, and I'll show you the rest of it, and it's this one. It says, "Winter, you are dear to me." So very cute. And then she did a bonus one. This one does not have the kit with it, but you do get the pattern, "Do all things with kindness," which I think is really sweet. And she always sent hoops that you could stitch them in and or decorate with, which is super cute. So the deer one goes in the bigger hoop, and the little freebie goes in the smaller hoop. And a little bit of pom-pom trim to decorate. There is blue and yellow here. And for the deer, sorry, now I shouldn't have done the confetti because it's on everything. She has a great piece of 14 count Ada. This is very green and pretty. It's not showing up well, but it's this deep, sort of bright emerald green color. It's a perfect size, already pre-cut for you, and the DMCs on a floss card. So it's all kitted up for you. Super cute, great for a beginner. Like, this is definitely how I built my skills, but also just, this would make a great ornament. 2 great quick small stitches for you. And so if you're interested in this, I will pass it along to you. So again, in order to enter the giveaway, subscribe to this channel, like the video, make a comment answering the question, what subscription you're part of or want to be part of that you just love and why. Also, in your comment, use the word KIT, K-I-T. So you could literally say, well, I'm part of this subscription, period, and the word KIT. That doesn't matter. But when I do the YouTube comment picker, I'm using the word KIT because this was the Geeky Stitching Company kit. So just include that in there anywhere. I'm just going to check my notes, but I think that is all I have for you. Today we're just going to relax. I have some chores, laundry. Always, it feels like I always have laundry, but I'm going to work on my sampler of my March sampler of the month and do a little more organizing. So these bookshelves will hopefully be a little more full and organized by the time you see me. I will have a video next week. At least that's my plan. So God willing, I'll have a video next week. And if you enjoyed my video, if you will subscribe and like, and I hope you enter the giveaway because I have so much fun passing on my stitchy joy to you all. So thanks. Have a great Sunday.